guys, this is AwesomeJohn22 coming at you today with the promised Bumblebee review, as I stumble over his name. We're looking at the 2-pack from the recent Age of Extinction toy line, where we have the new concept Chimera version of Bumblebee and a facsimile meant to represent G1 Bumblebee. We're actually going to take a look at him first. So let's go ahead and get him transformed up through the power of jump cuts. Not a problem. In fact, transforming him is not a problem in general. He's very, very simple, requiring only a couple more steps than the original G1 Bumblebee. Pop out the arms, disconnect the legs, then we're going to lower this down and this down at the same time, bringing everything together. Split the legs, fold down the feet, and accordion up the arms into place. And there you have this Bumblebee, which is made from, let me straighten his arm out, made from the same mold as the old Generations Legends Bumblebee. I believe it's still part of the Generations line that we've been getting with little Target Master Minicon partner guys. He was one of the earlier ones. This is a slight repaint to bring it more in line with G1 Bumblebee, but it just doesn't scream G1 Bumblebee to me. It's got details in the wrong places. No windshield here. Not sure what these are supposed to be. They're supposed to be taillights, but whatever, they're not supposed to be there. The only thing that I really like about this guy as a G1 Bumblebee is this really good head sculpt, though the larger chin makes me think Cliff Jumper more than Bumblebee, to be perfectly honest. It does have a cool Autobot symbol there. And, I mean, it's a good figure, don't get me wrong. I still like it, and I still consider it Bumblebee. It's just not going to be replacing Classics Bumblebee on my shelf. Well, the Generations repaint of Classics Bumblebee, actually. I like that one better. Full rotation at the shoulder, however, gives it good range of motion there. It can move forward and back as well. Has a ball-jointed elbow, and in case you need more clearance, these bits do fold up and give you more room. Nothing in the head, but you do have a full range of motion in the legs, aside from the fact that the knees don't quite go 90 degrees, so not quite full, but close enough. And Bumblebee, Legends Bumblebee, does come with a weapon. It is a very short-sighted repaint of the weapon, the MechTech weapon used by Jolt, I think, from the Dark of the Moon toy line. And it's ridiculous, and the peg is actually so thick that it doesn't really ever want to fit in his hand. It always feels like you're going to break his hand. And when you do actually wedge it in there, he can't actually hold it. So I completely disregard this. But there you have Legends Bumblebee. Let's get him out of the way and start looking over here at the main course, so to speak, which is our new concept Chimera Bumblebee, as he appears as sort of a clone of his rival Stinger, who was himself a clone of Bumblebee, bringing this guy all the way back around to being effectively a clone of himself. Don't ask, I don't even know what I just said. Anyway, let's get him transformed up now. And here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode, and I want to put a little disclaimer up, verbally speaking. Regardless of anything negative that I might say during the course of this review, I do like this figure, first and foremost. In theory, I like this figure. But anyway, having gotten that out of the way, let's take a look at this guy up close. Let's bring him up a bit, with the light shining off of him, and bring the camera in close, and you're going to notice that right off the bat. The fact that this and this yellow are orange more actually, are completely different colors. You can see the same thing here on the doors, the same thing back here. Every part of this figure that is clear plastic painted yellow-orange is a much deeper color than the rest of the car. And it doesn't show up quite as prominently on the live figure, especially under, like, the right lighting. Like right now I don't notice as much as I do like over on when I have it sitting on my desk and I'm dealing with it, but it's It's definitely noticeable, and really nice black stripe down the middle. Though I kind of like the double stripes better than the single stripe. Whatever. Off topic completely. That is the one thing that first and foremost annoys me about this figure. Also, that there are these big tabs right there behind the windows, the clear blue plastic windows that actually have the windows tabbed into them. That it's just so obvious. There's not a lot of huge, obvious robot junk through the windshield, however, so that's kind of nice. And there is great detail here on the front of the car with the Chevy logo and the headlights. God, I'm stupid. And whatnot. Really great molded detail in the wheels, though I would have liked to have it. I would have liked for it to have been painted. Seriously, what is wrong with me today? You can see great molded detail here in the back. No paint, though. I might go in and fix that myself, or just wait for repro labels, who will probably do something eventually about this. You know, they tend to do that. And then little spots for Autobot symbols, if that will focus. There we go, on each side. As you can see, nothing, no detail on them at all. But overall, it's a pretty snazzy looking vehicle mode, though the second, and it rolls pretty well, the second fundamental issue I have with it is right along here. Bring the camera in again. You can see there's a gap there. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you press on all the different bits all around here, you're never going to completely get rid of that gap. It's always going to be there. It is just a flaw in the design, and it's probably because this is painted, being thicker than it was at the time of being molded. That's also probably why up here in the front you have some tightness when you're putting everything together, but well, I guess we won't get that. We don't do reverse transformation. So there's some tightness in this when you're putting everything back together for vehicle mode. Still, overall, I like it. I think it looks fine. It's got a fantastic design. These vents and the hood look fantastic. Great molded detail all around. Of course, it's Bumblebee. They want him to bring in the dollars, so they want him to look good, and he does. He looks really good. Clear plastic aft rear window thingy. Is there a name for that? Like, I know this is the windshield. Sorry, I'm getting really off topic today a lot. Clear plastic, but you can see his legs through it, so I don't really like it. I kind of wish it weren't clear, but, you know, same thing as the windows. But yeah, so, that's Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. I know that the vehicle mode being all discolored and whatnot is probably going to turn a lot of people off to this figure, and to that I say, do not judge this figure solely based on the color differences. Actually look at the figure. Take a look at it. It's good, because this next mode, I think, just, it blows this mode away. What we're going to do first to start transforming him is we're going to come down here and we're going to pull loose these throwing star-esque weapons that he and Stinger both have, though I don't really remember Bumblebee using them. You can see his body is clearly right under there. Next we're going to come here and we're just going to kind of loosen these up. Come up top here and kind of lift this so that we can bring these, and this is some of that tightness I was talking about, bring these separate from this front grill piece. Then we're going to open this up and maneuver this down so that it comes past these black extensions, because these gray arms can get caught on these black extensions fairly easily. Bring this up just a little bit. And we're going to lower this down, and then we're going to bring the chest up. Trying to lower this down flat. Bring the chest up and kind of raise it up over this little plastic lip here. And that's his chest done already. Typically that's something I would like to save for last, but it just seems practical to do it first here. Next we're going to come underneath the arms and we're going to fold the windows up behind the arms. Come to the back here, lift up the backpack, bring it up, and the whole thing swings a little bit like so. Then we're going to come down here, split the legs a notch on each side just to kind of get them separated. And we're going to bring these feet down, fold these in, fold in, We're going to bring these back sections that kind of popped up when we were bringing the feet down because they're really loose. Rotate everything into place like so. And then rotate the legs around at the thigh joint. And we're almost done. Bumblebee is pretty much 100% transformed now. And in fact, a lot of the promotional art and even some other reviewers, actually, have kind of stopped here, but there is more to the transformation. You're going to fold these car bits forward and then out, and I think it really improves the overall look of the figure. Maybe you disagree. I do not, and this is my show, so I win. Anyway, next we're going to come back here. We're going to bring this backpack back away from the figure a little bit so that we have clearance to plug in these star weapons, which he can hold in his hands. I'm not going to show it off because they're kind of tight and I don't want to deal with having to pull them back out, but they do fit, I promise. And now we have Bumblebee in his robot mode, and I love it. I love this mode. It could use more variations in paint aside from yellow, orange, and black, but I think it looks fantastic. And it's not 100% on model. I'm not going to say it is because it's not. And you can see the light piping through his eyes even from all the way back here. That's just great. It's not 100% on model. It is based on a earlier version of the concept character, so it doesn't have everything it should. Like, for example, the throwing stars should be kind of, zoom out so you can see what the hell I'm doing, kind of be over here pointing out and flat instead of, you know, pressed up like this. But just great. Great detailing in the chest. You can see it looks like parts of his car compressed together, which is what folding the grill behind his chest is supposed to symbolize. See, cool detail in the abdomen that I really wish was picked out with paint. Looks like pistons. A lot of cues taken from the older Bumblebee figures as well, but in completely different ways, which is always welcome, of course. The arms have great detailing as well, but they're really yellow. They were darker than that in the movie. The Takara version of this figure is going to have darker arms. I might actually pick up the Takara version of this figure. I don't do that a lot, but I might actually pick up the Takara version of this figure because I just really like this figure. I think it looks really great, and it does some really great stuff for its scale, too. I wish he had his stinger claw weapon thing that he has in the movie, but he does actually have a fold-away ranged weapon that very much resembles the cannon he used in previous movies. And I promise that's not actually pink, that's just a trick of the light. I don't know why it's doing that. Folds away very simply, though I wish the gun itself has paint on it. I wish his hands had paint on them, because when you rotate it back around, it feels like you just lost something. And that bothers me. He also has, if I can show this off, I'm not sure I'll be able to show this off on camera very effectively, but he does have a battle mask. You kind of come up here, and put your fingernails on each side of this bit here and pull it forward without pulling the head off if possible. Just fumbling all over the place today. Anyway, you bring it forward, bring it down. Now he has that really bug eye-esque battle mask thing. It doesn't cover his entire face, but it covers enough. I do wish, again, there were some black detailing on here to pick out, because you can see, if I bring it in really close, you can see there are like these little jagged, buggy eyes molded in right along here, but they are not picked out with paint at all. And it's really a shame. Coming back, bringing this up, and then pushing it back into place, we can get a look at his proper face sculpt, which, despite the fact that the battle mask gives him kind of this Cro-Magnon brow line thing going on, it's pretty cool. Completely didn't focus, jeez. Got some great black detailing up top on the battle mask that I think really helps it. Really great molding all around. Blue optics that are very, very well light piped. I absolutely love it. Great face sculpt. Absolutely fantastic. The figure itself is built well, too. These bits on the shoulders can pop off, but they slide right back on. Still be careful with it. However, it does have a full range of articulation, even if the backpack does kind of get in the way just a little bit. Ratchets in the elbows, very loose ones, but ratchets nonetheless, that's cool. Ratchets in the hips as well, in and out, and this is his knee. That's the only issue I have. You kind of have to unfold that, to get his knee to bend any further, and it's really high up, just like on the high octane version that I reviewed a little while back. But he does have movement in the feet at 2 points. Not sure why you would need that. And no waist, but he does have a fully ball jointed head that can get all kinds of crazy poses. And really, aside from the knees that I just pointed out as being somewhat of an issue, the only problem I have with this figure is that he has a giant backpack, and all the other Bumblebees did that too, but it was kind of a jumping off point for their door wings, which he doesn't have here. In fact, he had a very sleek humanoid physique in the movie that just, I mean, without the backpack would carry over great into this toy. But the backpack just kind of, it fills in that whole area and makes him look bulkier than he actually is, and it bothers me. Not a lot. I can get past it, because like I said, I do really like this figure. But it does bother me, nonetheless. Still, despite the few problems that I feel this toy definitely has, his figure is definitely worth getting. Especially if you like movie Bumblebee at all, or you just like Bumblebee, or you just like decent Transformers. It's not great. I'm not going to go out all the way on the limb and say it's great, but it's a very good figure, and it looks very cool. And if it had more color matching done in the vehicle mode, it would be, I think, a great figure. I think that is literally the only thing holding it back from being a great figure in this modern age, is literally the paint, and that pretty much sums up every deluxe class figure made in quite a long time, actually. This set is worth getting with the Legends Bumblebee, especially if you don't already have a version of that mold. It's definitely worth getting. It's only a couple bucks more than the individual figure. It's Toys R Us exclusive, which might be the only thing that puts you off. I don't know if everyone has Toys R Us in their areas anymore. But it is Toys R Us exclusive, but it's only a couple dollars more than the actual retail price of this guy, which means you're basically getting this figure for under like $2. I think that's a win. I think that's especially a win for collectors. So as far as Bumblebee goes, and as far as this set goes, I strongly recommend this. Go check it out, go take a look at it in the store, see what you think, at the very least, but if I were you, I would just go ahead and pick it up. So guys, that's about it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if you feel so inclined. In the description down below, you'll find a link to all the other stuff I'm working on right now, including a link to my collections video. Check that out. If you see anything in that collections video that you'd like me to review, let me know and I'll see what I can do about that. This has been AwesomeJohn22, and I will talk to you guys later.